This message is for all so-called Christians out there who stood behind this man and gave him power to control and rule this country. You have betrayed the Constitution of the country. You have betrayed your loyalty to the Bill of Rights. You have blasphemed God, and you have lied on his name, in his name. And I'm here to let you know what God gave me for the church, for you, for those who stood behind this man. He gave me a message to let you know that you are going to lose your churches and your ministries. You're going to lose your followers, and you're going to lose your money. It's going to go down. And this is the reason why. Because as the scripture says, you strain at a gnat and you swallow a camel. In other words, you're looking so hard for something to hang your, judgment on. But at the same time, you're gluttonous and you're swallowing whole iniquities and transgressions that you ignore and you covet after them. But you're straining at these two policies. And for the life of me, I can't figure out, how you can strain at these policies and ignore everything else. But you take full responsibility for the overturning of Roe versus Wade. You're against abortion. You take full responsibility for any prohibited activity on homosexuality. Okay? God may come to you and say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant," because you took care of these things, and so I'm gonna reward you with what you deserve and what you have coming. But you cannot escape the other policies that he's going to put in place. You are going to take full responsibility for those policies also, because you voted for abortion and homosexuality, but you ignore everything else. Okay, you ignoring all of the other sins and transgressions that's going to plague this country because of his policies. You ignore it, and that's what it means by straining at a gnat and swallowing a camel. You just glutton. You're gluttonous. You're making money off of these two policies, and you're just ignoring all the rest. But they're in your gut, all of them. And what I mean by that is what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to, deal with abortion, homosexuality, but he's going to enforce immigration policies, which is turning away the stranger, persecuting the stranger, separating kids from their families, from their mothers. And who knows, God forbid that any of them are shot and killed. But with the following that this man has, that is not unforeseeable. That some of these demonic murderers will find sport in shooting and killing or watching to die, immigrants under the rule of this man's iron fist. You bear responsibility for any deaths that happen. You bear responsibility for the pain and suffering from the children and the parents and anybody that's innocent involved in that, behind that policy. You bear responsibility for that. He also said that he's going to make police immune to doing their jobs, which is killing people, innocent people. Mostly we've seen police kill black people. Like the woman who told the cop, "I rebuke you." He just shot her. And we know the story behind that. Any black person that is killed by a police officer, that person's blood is going to be on your hand. And like I said, we know these MAGA type people. They are bloodthirsty, and they do it just for sport. It is sad. It's really it's pathetic that they do this for sport, and all of the hate that's in their heart. You're going to bear responsibility for all the hate also that comes behind murdering innocent people and breaking up families for no reason. You're going to bear responsibility for any woman that has a complication in her pregnancy and not getting an abortion, but has a complication, and either that baby or her dies. That blood is on your hands also. Because this man has threatened doctors, okay, to jail them if they try to offer any type of preventative health care to these women who are in positions of suffering from a pregnancy going wrong. Bearing responsibility for that. You're bearing responsibility for all economic hardships. A lot of people swear up and down that they voted for the economy. Well, when he puts his economy in place and there are less jobs, more homelessness, more people out of work, you're going to bear responsibility for all of the poverty in this country. Supposedly, you're supposed to be an advocate for the poor, but you're going to bear responsibility for their situations. From that point on, you're going to bear responsibility for his policy behind healthcare, to take away the Affordable Care Act, to take away Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, any illnesses that come behind that. Any people die because they don't have the affordable, they can't afford health care, or they are turned away at the doctor, or they can't get their prescriptions, or anything that becomes of his economic policy under healthcare. You're going to go through something. Okay, you're going to be responsible for that. Also, excuse my cough. You're going to be responsible for any mass shootings, because it is him and his administration and his followers, his lawmakers, that allow open carry to anybody who wants a gun. They got the Wild West going that they always wanted. They pro-gun, which is, something that is against the teachings of Christ. No, he did not tell people to go out and buy a gun. That is just not. He told them to remove it, put it away. Our kingdom does not fight carnal battles. Okay? So any mass shootings, kids getting killed, any random gun violence, domestic violence, any acts of terrorism in the nation is going to be on your hands. The blood is going to be on your hands, because that's his policy. Also, war, any wars. I know he said he swore he wasn't going to start a war, and all of you believe it, but there's going to be wars. He's already mentioned some of the things he's going to do. Some countries he's going to take vengeance on. So any people that die in those wars, on their side or outside, their blood is going to be on your hand, because it's his policies. Okay? Any vigilante violence, psychopathological MAGA people, neo-Nazis, white supremacists, walking the streets, killing people randomly, that's all going to be on you. And that falls under his policies of white supremacy, emboldening and empowering these people with hate and division. Okay, no unity. You voted for that, and that's exactly what you're going to get. And because of these things, the scripture says that your heart is divided. Now shall they be found faulty. When these policies go into effect and these things start happening out of division and hate, you will be found at fault. And this is out of the book of Hosea, chapter 10, verses 13, chapter 13, verses 1 through 3. Because they said, He shall break down the Lord is going to break down your altars. He's going to take your churches apart. He shall spoil their images, all your images of idolatry. Okay. And for now, and you're going to say, well, we have no king because we feared not the Lord. The Lord gave you a king because you did not fear him. And you want to know, what is this king going to do for you? And you swear what he's going to do for you. But when he enact these policies, that will be your king, and that you will be responsible for all of his policies. And because of that, he's going to dismantle your churches because they are found faulty and they are found false. Also, your people, when they see these things happening and their humanity decides to kick in, they're going to turn away from you. They're definitely going to turn from you. They're going to leave your churches. You're going to lose members. And when you lose your members, you're going to lose your money and your following. Scripture says, it is in my desire that I should chastise them, and the people shall be gathered against them, when they shall bind themselves in their two furrows. The people will be gathered against you. Your members, your community, your neighbors will be gathered against you because they know that you were behind this man. And you, your high places in your sin, will be destroyed. The thorn and the thistle shall come up on your altar instead of the harvest you're always talking about. The prosperity of the harvest. You're going to get thorns and thistles instead. Okay? You're going to lose your money. You're going to lose your income. You're going to lose it. Okay? And you're going to run in fear. That's going to make you very afraid. And the scripture says, cover. You're going to say, cover us to the mountains and to the hills, fall on us. Because you're not going to see any point. You're not going to see any point after you lose all your members and after you lose your followers. You're going to wish the hills and the mountains fall on you. Also, because you trust in the world and its system and all the lies you told, promising people, that God said this to you and said that to you. And this is what he's going to do, that he's going to put this man in charge, which God did not do. You put him there. God warned you about him. But because you trust in the system and you lied to the people, you have plowed wickedness. You have reaped, and you will reap iniquity. You have eaten the fruit of lies because thou didst trust in thy own way and in the multitude of thy mighty men. I know your hearts. You're trusting in the police force and the military because they got guns and they can kill and murder your enemies. That's what's in your heart. You in fear. You're afraid. And you have made the people afraid. And you are going to suffer that. Your wickedness is going to cause your children to be cursed. And in the end, the scripture reads, so shall Bethel do unto you because of your great wickedness. And in a morning, one morning, shall the king of Israel utterly be cut off. Your king is going to be cut off one morning, and you're going to lose. And from that point on, your children will be cursed from this day forward. I want to say that if this man does all the things he says he's going to do, you are going to bear the responsibility for it. All blood is going to be on your hands. All iniquity and transgressions that people suffer in this society is going to be because of you. And as the scripture says, this is the book of Hosea, chapter 10. It lets you know what's going to happen to you because of your wickedness and your evil. and your trust in the world and not in the Lord. Have any comments or questions? Let me know. Peace.